Hello everybody, this is Oak Tree Tarot Reader here and welcome to my pick a card video. So I'm doing something slightly different to what I would normally do. I just felt the need for a bit of a change to freshen things up a little bit. So you'll have to let me know in the comment section whether you like it or not. But I've chosen a slightly different question than I would normally do, and this is sort of what happens when you meet the person that you will marry up to the point that you're going to get married. So it's sort of meeting them, the courtship phase, and then the phase after you've got engaged and before you get married. And I'm going to be filming it at a different angle when I get the cards out and reading it in a slightly different way. So I've set up 3 options. I've got number 1, which is the key, number 2, which is the book, and number 3, which is the Clover. I will put the timestamps in the description box along with all the links for the cards in case any of you fancy buying any of them. And all my contact details are also in the description box. So I want you to remember that this is a general reading aimed at a lot of people, so you've just got to take what resonates. Anything that's clearly not relevant to your life, just put it aside and just pay attention to the bits that matter. And remember that tarot is not set in stone. Everything's changeable. So if there's anything about any of the readings that, you know, and the potential marriage that does not appeal to you, then you can always change your vibrations, your energies, your decisions, and change your path, and you will come up with a different marriage. You know, you can divert yourself from the kind of relationship that might come up in these cards if it is a relationship that you don't like the sound of. So yeah, so don't feel that you're stuck with this marriage if you don't want it. You have free will. So I want you to close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, relax, and ask yourself the question, what will happen when I meet the person I will marry? When you feel ready, make your choice and click on the timestamp. And I will see you at your reading. Okay, those of you that chose number 1, the key, please forgive me if I seem a bit out of sorts. This is the first time I've used this camera angle and it's new to me. But anyway, so yeah, just in case you didn't listen to the introduction, if you don't like the sound of this potential marriage, then there will be other marriages for you that maybe will be a bit more suitable for you. And remember, this is the marriage that's ahead for you if you carry on the path you are currently walking, and if you change direction, new things will arise from that. So how are you going to meet this person? I think what's going to be going on is that you're not actually going to notice them at first. I think actually you could be introduced to them and you're just, you know, I don't think you're going to have a love at first sight situation. I think you're just not going to really either pay attention to each other or realise the potential of each other, because there's other things going on. For some of you, I think that you or they are actually with someone else, and you or they are being good partners and not looking at other people. But I think something's going on and the other relationship ends. Or perhaps the relationship has ended, but there's still something going on with the ex-partner, because there is a residualness of them within the reading. What you've got to remember is that this is your potential marriage partner, so they will choose you. I just think it's going to be made difficult for them by their ex-partner. Because we just start off with lots of, you know, keeping yourself to yourself, but also being out, being in the fray, in the competition of things. So sort of out in the world doing stuff, but not really engaging with it. And this is what it's going to be like when you meet this person. So you might be busy working on a project, or you've got something going on at home and you're focusing on that. And you just don't really, you're not really looking for anyone. And I think that's partly as well what goes on in this relationship with the other cards, is that you're not looking for anyone. Now is not a good time to meet anyone, but you meet them. I think you meet them, and I think it's clicking. I think it just clicks. I think if there is a situation where there's another, it's a third party situation, it just can't be helped. There's chemistry and there's liking and there's compatibility with you and this person. And I think that actually brings some sadness with it. That there's sort of a feeling that, oh, why did we meet now? Now is not a good time. I think even if there isn't a third person in this, even if it is just you're both single when you meet, it's just like, oh, there could be, this isn't the best time. This could have come at another time when I can commit fully to it. But it is the way it is. You meet this person and you clearly get on and click and in some level commit to each other, because we go on to the next phase of what happens in this courtship. And this is the phase when you first start dating, getting to know each other, and up to the point, and this could last for a while, even a couple of years, until the commitment's made. That can be in the form of a proposal, but it can also mean if you don't ever want to go through the ceremony of committing to each other and accepting you're going to be together and maybe moving in together. So once you've got over sort of, oh, it's not the best time, but it's happened. And I do feel that it's a case of it's happened and I'm not going to miss out on this person. So you decide to start dating, going out, or making an attempt at a relationship, and things are going to be slow moving. This is a slow moving relationship. Nothing's going to be happening quickly, because I think this other person, if that's the situation with you in this relationship, this ex-partner is just going to be interfering. And if they're not interfering, whatever's happened in their relationship is going to have a bit of residual energy in yours, which is not fair, it's not right, but it's the way it is. And you've got to decide whether this person's worth the effort. And I think you will. I think you will decide that they're worth the effort, because it moves on to a lot of emotional maturity between the two of you, a lot of, I believe, emotional connection and understanding. And I think that's the great depth of the relationship, is that you just love each other. I think regardless of all the reasons why you shouldn't be together, the reason you should is that you love each other. And as much as this other person, I suspect, wants to cause trouble between the two of you, they're going to manage it to a certain level, but then I think you're just going to block them out. And I think before you realise that this is the real deal, that there is commitment, that they are committing to you, that there will be a marriage, or that they'll move in with you and, be with you completely, there will be a moment where you're really convinced it's not going to happen. You might even have a bit of a breakup where you just like, I'll wash my hands of this, I can't have any more of this, and I've just got to walk away. And I think you're just going to feel upset and isolated and out of it, and like that you've lost. But you haven't lost. You haven't lost at all, because I think losing you is what's going to sort of make them realise that they want you, that you're the one for them. Because when they're going to come back to you, they're going to say, I'm sending the ex away and I want to marry you. I want to be with you. And that's their commitment, that they are going to send the ex away. If they've got kids with the ex, yes, they're still going to be a parent. But they're not going to allow what their ex-partner wants to ruin the relationship that you have together. And once that happens, even though there's a lot of pain associated with this, and you must understand that there's still going to be pain for your ex-partner, particularly if this troublesome relationship's been a long one, a big dominant part of their life, it's going to be difficult for them. But you'll be there, and you need to be understanding and compassionate that this is difficult for them. They do want you, but they've got a phase to go through where they emotionally disengage from the life they led before. So be understanding, because what's going to happen is that you're really going to deeply connect. You're going to really spend some time with each other, nourishing each other, getting to know each other, loving each other. You know, you're an engaged couple at this point. You know, you get into through the phase to when you marry, and you are a couple, and you're just sort of, just nourishing each other and healing each other, and being truly intimate with each other in more ways than just physically. And I think by doing that, you're allowed to like shed the old skin about loving each other, but also loving yourself. I believe that this phase in the relationship, you really learn to love yourselves, to have a lot of self-belief, self-confidence, self-love. And because you have that sort of knowledge that you're both worth something in this relationship, that you have value as independent people, you can love each other and support each other, because you both know what you deserve out of the relationship. This is very much a relationship of equals. And there's very much more really truly bonding in this phase of engagement to marriage. There's a lot of enjoyment in each other that allows you to realise your own true value. And sort of the period just before you're really getting married, you know, which is usually quite tense and sort of anxious, I don't see that you are. I think that there's so much self-love and so much appreciation for the other that you're just completely content and abundant and satisfied. And I think there's a sense of euphoria in it, in that, you know, you can't believe you finally got to this point where you're able to marry and commit to each other and spend the rest of your lives together. Yeah. I think you've got a long journey, but you're going to believe it's worth it, that they are worth it, and they're going to believe that you are worth it. Because I just feel that for a lot of you, there is an ex involved. You know, they're at the end of a bad relationship, or they're already managed to get out of a bad relationship, but they're just still dealing with all the rubbish that comes from that. And this ex just is not happy they're moving on to someone that they have a better relationship with, a better compatibility, that has the potential for a much better marriage than they had before with this ex. So you just got to stick it out, stick together, and just accept that, yeah, you're most likely going to have this moment where you think, I love you and I'll always love you, but I've got to walk away. And I think that will be the point where they're like, no, I must be with this person. I must be with you. And they'll find the strength, you know, to realise that they have to push this other person away. That, yeah, maybe we've got the kids, we'll always talk about the kids and we'll always put the kids first. But when it comes to you, you are my ex and that's it. That you don't have any influence on my life anymore. So those of you that chose number 1, that's your... what will happen when you meet the person that you marry. It's a bit of a journey. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section how you enjoyed this new reading and the camera angle and everything. Like, comment, subscribe. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Take good care of yourself and goodbye. Okay, those of you that chose number 2, the book, the middle one. This is your reading. This is what's going to happen when you meet the person that you marry. So how do you meet them? What's going on? I think what actually is going on is that you're relieving yourself of a burden. I think that you're in a phase of your life that you've had enough. You're coming to the end of a cycle. You're changing a job. Some of you have ended a bad relationship, or you're moving, or you've just got to a point where you think, I'm just not on the right path. I need to shake things up and sort of get myself realigned to what makes me happy. And you're going to do this through your own manifestation. I think you're going to work hard for it. I think you're going to summon up things from nothing. You're going to put yourself in the right place and just be really dynamic and just As well, I think learn a lot about yourself. You're really using everything that you've got at hand, everything that you never knew you had, in order to achieve this. And you're really going to actually free yourself of it. You really are. And I think you're just going to be overwhelmed with confidence and feel like you're flying high, that everything's happening for you. I think you're going to be full of adventure and dynamism, because it just feels liberating. And I think when you do this, when you get yourself, I think, on the right path, I think some of you are not on the right path. I think by taking this action, you're getting yourself into a much healthier life that really will bring you happiness, regardless of what happens with this person. That they are going to come out and reveal. I think you're going to be tired. There's almost a feeling of tiredness, like, I've achieved so much, I'm just going to sit down here and, have a break or not worry about, it's feeling of relief that you've got it all sorted and you can just sit down now. And they're going to come out and sort of like, hey, I've always liked you, or that was so impressive, I can't believe it. They want to help you. It's all out of good naturedness. And I think that they are finally seeing either that you're in a position to be able to take notice of them, or that you actually, for the first time, are able to take notice of them. Because I do feel that for quite a few of you, even if you don't know them at this moment in time, when this all sort of happens, you will know them. And I think you'll suddenly go like, oh, yeah, I sort of, know you from the periphery of my life, but actually you're really nice. Or you see them in a new way, or, they know of you, but you haven't known about them, and they introduce themselves and you're like really pleased about it. But they definitely know about you, even if that some of you just don't have a clue who they are. But you're just going to be in a great position, full of confidence, really dynamic, having stuff happen because of your hard work. So well done for that at any point. So you start dating, you decide to accept a date, you go on a second or third one, and you decide that, maybe this connection has legs, somewhere to go. And you just really connect. There's real love there. There's bonding, there's union, and it's a shared affection. I think you're going to be going out on dates and getting on really well. You like to do the same sort of things, or you have the same interests and opinions and world viewpoint. This is just a really great connection that has a lot of potential. And I think you just love going out together and showing each other off, like, oh, here's my new partner, this is my new so-and-so, boyfriend, girlfriend. Then you're just flying high, because I think this is just coming on top of a great day. It's like the rainbow at the end of the rain that's come after a drought, but it's slow moving. I feel that you're going to be dating for a long time before you get engaged. It could be a couple of years, 2 or 3 years even, for a lot of you. Certainly longer than you've ever been sort of as a couple with someone before, I would imagine, unless you're a permanent sort of monogamist that never gets married. I think you're going to take this slower, you're going to allow things to grow and develop, and then when the right time comes, whether it's 7 months or 7 years, it doesn't matter, you're going to be at such a great phase of utter happiness and abundance, and of having everything that you could possibly need or want. It's just fabulous. The proposal comes. So this feels really romantic. This phase of the going out, the courtship, is just wonderful. It's full of positive energy, of success. People notice you, they think you're a great couple, and that you're not rushing anything, you're allowing things to grow organically and naturally, and you're not rushing anything. And that's how the relationship's growing so well, because you're giving it time. I think you have wisdom. I think both of you have wisdom of how things can go wrong, and I think it's probably connected to whatever burden you're relieving yourself of, that you've been through a trial and you've triumphed and met this person on the back of it almost. So yeah, there's this great proposal. I feel it'll be a wonderful proposal, very romantic. And there's an acceptance, and then you are engaged. Once we get to this engagement phase, it's like almost like the relationship loses a bit of steam. That things start to get blended together in a different way. You're taking things much more seriously once you're an engaged couple. This makes sense to me because obviously once you've got engaged, then you've got to worry about the wedding. And weddings are big deals nowadays. You can't just have a nice little ceremony where you're getting married. It's usually like warfare where everything's organised to the nth degree. And I feel that things are just going to be, in terms of the relationship, very calm, where you're trying to mix things together, where you're trying to blend the two of you together. Maybe at this point might be the first time you've really lived together. For some of you. Not for everyone. But for some of you, this might be the first time you really get to be with them. Because you don't really know what someone's like until you actually live with them, for a long time. And I think you're just going to, at this point, really move into a much more sedate, like a long-term couple feel, where things can feel a bit boring, but really they're just mundane day-to-day stuff that happens in real life. Not everything's exciting all the time. It's not, when you live together, you don't go out to eat as much because you might as well just stay in and get the dinner done for, whenever, when you both get back, and you have to do chores and you have to be responsible and get clothes clean and all these kind of things. And I feel that mundane aspect of life comes into play and sort of takes the shine off the relationship a bit. And I think there might be a moment for some of you where it's a real jolt that this wonderful relationship doesn't seem to be going as well all of a sudden, and you're not sure what's happened. It's almost like, are you actually going to get married for some of you? And for others of you, I feel it's more that you recognise that this relationship's gone a bit slow and a bit, not stale or stagnant. I really don't get that feel, but that it's not as vibrant as it once was, and you want that back. And I think that you're going to jazz things up a bit. I think you're going to make a bit of effort to get to know each other again. It's almost, I feel like, we're a different kettle of fish now that we're a couple and we're going to be getting married. Things are going on. There's a stress of a wedding. Family members always get involved when there's weddings, and it just seems to be all work and no play. And once you have that jolt, things change, and we get into a much more fiery, better energy where you both take the effort to please each other a lot more. I think that because of this energy here, although you're happy and love each other, there's never a loss of love. I think it changes the dynamic of the relationship that much, that you have to come and sort of say, right, the reason we're getting married is because we love each other and we want to spend the rest of our lives together. So we're going to have to put in the effort to, continually keep each other interested about, because as well, it's almost a feeling like there's a lot of mystery gone. But the reality is the mystery hasn't gone. There's just a lot of familiarity. And so I think that you'll focus, both of you, on reminding each other there's still a lot about each other that you don't know. And that you can still surprise each other. And I think that's what you're going to be doing, is that you're going to revive this quite positive and lively relationship and revive it back again into that vitality. Because I just feel that once you have that initial engagement of like a couple of months after you've got that ring on your finger, or put the ring on her finger or his finger, whatever, it's going to suddenly be like, oh, all the adrenaline's gone. And you're just going to then think, right, well, we want the adrenaline back, because regardless of anything else, this is our relationship and this is what we want it to be like. The truth is, all relationships have ebbs and flows. And I think that because you'll manage to realise what you need to do, in the ebb, then you'll be able to encourage the flow to come back a lot quicker. So this looks to me like a great relationship spread. It really, really does. I think you're going to really love each other and like each other and be on the same wavelength. And I think that's what's going to get you through the tricky bits that every relationship has. All relationships have tricky bits. You're just going to have this moment where you're going to have to sort of, you have in some way there's a shocking moment that you didn't think was going to happen. For some of you, it could feel, like really upsetting and intense. And for others of you, you recognise this and you decide to, as I say, jazz it up, to change and lighten things up a bit and get that vibrancy back. But yeah, just be careful in this engagement phase that you don't do anything that you'd regret, some of you, or, that the situation doesn't call for finding out something shocking about the other person, because it's the Tower card and there's a danger of that. But I think, bearing in mind all the other cards and what comes afterwards, I'm leaning more towards, for the majority of you, for like 99.9% of you, that you do it yourself, that you go, darling, we've got boring, this isn't us, let's do something exciting, let's remember that we love each other and we want to be interesting and mysterious to the other person, and we can still excite each other, and you'll do it. So those of you that chose option 2, that's your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comment section how you've enjoyed this new reading and the camera angle and so forth. Otherwise, take very good care of yourself. Thank you very much for listening to me, and goodbye. Okay, those of you that chose number 3, the Clover, this is your marriage, your potential marriage if you want it. Because you can remember that if you don't like the sound of this, you can always change things and embark on a different path. So how are you going to meet this person? I think what's going on is that it could well be a family, there's a family thing, or that you're searching for the family, you're actually looking to meet someone to have a family with. But I think what you're trying to do is balance out the needs of a family that you want or that you have with the need to be adventurous. So I feel that some of you are wanting to spread your wings, go travelling, do more things in life, but you've got the burden of your family. It can be your own kids, whether they're children or grown-ups, or your parents that maybe need your help a lot more, or siblings or something, or your own expectations of what you want in a family, versus, that maybe you're thinking it's time to settle down, get married, have a couple of kids because you want them, but still maybe you're not quite ready and you still want to go off and have a lot of fun and a lot of adventuring. And you're balancing that. I think you're in a transition phase from sort of youth to adult. And I think you're going to meet this person when you're in need of understanding about that situation. I think you're realising that you're at this transitional phase and you might be struggling with it, that you still want to go out and do fun things, but you really do want to settle down into a family, and you're struggling. You're really trying to balance it out and you're really struggling. And I think that because you're searching for some sort of human compassion and understanding of that you meet this person. So this person might offer you that understanding. Maybe they've got a friendly ear to listen to. Maybe they're a friend of a friend or something. But I think that either you meet through the process, in that you're just receptive to meet someone like this, or they are actually somebody that will listen and say, well, what I would say at that point is, it's tricky getting older and realising that you want different things, but you can still have fun. Having a family is a big adventure, and you can still do things like physically travel. You're just going to have to do it maybe less and with kids. So, yeah. I just get the feeling that you're in a transitional phase in life, and this is why you meet them. Maybe it's taken you this long to meet someone like that because you've never been quite ready before to give up on the exciting bachelor or bachelorette lifestyle. Because I get that feeling that you've just been happily going out, working, earning your money, having fun out with friends and traveling and doing exciting things, and now you're thinking, well, I've got to invest the money that you have, the resources, into someone else and your children together. But there's just something about needing the emotional, connection, and I think you're going to have an emotional connection with this person. So once you've sort of met them, what's going to happen? I will say, by the way, that I was hoping that I'll be able to say, oh, you go out on a night out, whatever, but this is what the cards say. It's not telling me the details of how you meet this person, so that might still be up in the air, of how you're going to meet them. But what it is saying that is you're not going to meet them really until you want the 10 of Cups, the family, with a sensitivity and emotion. It's not a distant thing in the future that you might one day have. You're looking at it and thinking, well, actually, I wouldn't mind if it was next year, or the year after, that I meet someone and we get married and have a kid within a couple of years, 2-3 years. You're starting to feel that it's actually something that could happen to you, and that's when you're going to meet this person. So you've met them. They've asked you out, you've asked them out, you're dating, and this is the phase of getting to know you, the courtship phase, where you really start to get to know each other. And this can be a short period of time or a long period of time, depending on you, them, and the relationship. But I feel that this is going to really be a struggle for you. Not in a bad way. I think you're going to meet every struggle. I think for the first time, you're really going to have this connection with somebody, and in a sense, an intimacy with people of emotional, mental, and physical. I think, like living with this person. And I think through every stage that, this person gets closer to you, you struggle with it. Right through up, even possibly past the marriage for some of you. I know the reading goes beyond that point, but I think that very much you are a loner. I think that you're somebody that enjoys your alone time, your solitude. I think you might feel loneliness at points, but generally you can keep your own company. And as long as you go out with friends and do fun stuff, and I just feel you travel a lot or work a lot or just do things for fun a lot, and you don't have to worry about anyone else. When this person comes, it's different. I feel that you're the Knight of Wands and they're the Queen of Cups, weirdly. You can't go gallivanting off doing things with this person. And I think for you, anyway, that's a struggle because you're not used to it and you've never had anyone this close to you, either for a very long time and some of you before. And I think it's intimidating to you. As much as you want it, it's frightening. So, don't worry about that. You want it more than you want the fear, and you will make a go of it. You will. Even if it's not with this person, you will make a go of it with someone else because you do want the family. So you start going out, and I think there's a sense of emotional distance that, in the very early phases, you're not going to let on really what you're feeling or thinking, really. I think you're going to keep a bit of a distance between you and them, because of this feeling of intimidation that, it's a struggle for you. And you don't want to feel this way. You want to be honest. But there's also then a mixed feelings. You're hopping from one foot to the other. You can't make up your mind. You're of one mind, then another mind. You're thinking, should I just go back to the way I was because it's comfortable and less frightening? But actually, I really want this person, and actually, I think I could have the nice wedding and the nice house and the lovely kids and the dog and the cat and all the rest of it. And you start to really, this is your transformation phase where you can't decide, which plate to spin, which foot to hop onto, but you can't stand still just yet. But that's not sustainable for any length of time. I think you might veer between the old life, the Knight of Wands energy, and the new energy for a bit, which is all right in the early stages of a relationship. You're not going to immediately commit to each other. You've got to get to know each other. And I think you'll slowly reveal bits of yourself more and more with this person, but then also still keep bits to yourself. I think out of a sense of vulnerability. But you then get to the point where you can reveal more of you. You clearly feel comfortable with this person and safe, that they are trustworthy, they're the person you're going to marry. To reveal more of yourself, more of your privacy, more of the things that, only your best friends and your family know about you. You're letting them in. And you then embark on a brand new journey without any fear of the future. You're just going to, go ahead. You're not going to worry about what's going to happen next. You're just going to seize the moment and enjoy now. And I think this is the point where you're going to propose or be proposed to, because they're going to sense that you're ready now for that next phase in the relationship, or you're going to sense that now's the right time to say to them, let's commit. And it could be just moving in together, or it could be getting married. And you've gone on a big, long journey. You've gone from somebody that's frightened to let anyone in to someone that's like, let's do this crazy thing together. Regardless of the fact that you might still have doubts, you're going to move on and move it beyond that. Once you're at that commitment phase, where it's like the proposal to the wedding, or the moving in together to properly settled in together, you're just going to go through a radical transformation. It's just going to change for you. You're not going to have the same fears. You're not going to have the same worries. You're going to move on. You've got the will. You're going to allow things to change and move on. You're not going to be in the old energy. You're going to be in the new energy. And I think it's as I say, it's still intimidating to you. You've got the Two of Pentacles there and the Two of Pentacles there. The fact that they've moved in with you, and I think I've said this with every reading, is that you never really know anyone until you've lived with them for a while. Because you really, live together. You spend time apart, but then at the times where you would normally be private, you're not. They're there. They're in bed with you. They're sharing a toothpaste tube. You've got to let them watch stuff on TV, and they've got to let you watch stuff on TV. It's much more of a shared life, and I think it's intimidating still to get to know and be with this person. And I feel that they might need to reassure you, or you them, if you feel this energy is more them than you. There's got to be reassurance there that everything's okay, and that we'll take it slow, and don't be embarrassed. This is just, we've got to be comfortable with each other, which you have. And I think you will get through it. As I say, there's just like barriers and barriers that you've got, like the layers of an onion, that this person is slowly penetrating, and they're not doing it violently. They're letting it happen at your pace, and I think that's the success of it, because I think they're the Queen of Cups with the emotional sensitivity. Yeah, this is how you meet them. You're ready to move on, you're trying to balance it, and that's when they come into your life, and then you're left with the challenge then of actually working for what you want, which is the happy family. So we've now got the situation of you getting used to them. They've got through another barrier. You're getting used to them around the house, and you're getting used to them, in all aspects of your life. That that you're going to be with them regularly. That you're going to be, learn each other's favourite meals. You're going to learn how they like to have their toast. You're going to learn what they look like first thing in the morning, and all the usual things in a relationship. That you're going to be one of the few people that learns that about them, and vice versa. And I think that because of that sort of feeling that, oh, well, I'm just on this journey now, and I might as well experience it. It allows you get used to the intimacy about you get more and more used to the change in your own boundaries, because the boundaries go further and further back. They can get further and further into you. And don't panic, because you do the same to them. You're getting further and further into their defences. That's what happens in the relationship. You sort of, we're together. And I think as you get into the point of the wedding, you're just getting more and more reassured that you've made the right decision. Because I think there might have been fears. This is why you've got the 4, because I think there were things about it you were not sure about from your perspective and about them. But the further along you get towards the wedding, and the more you get to know each other and the more you get used to each other, the more you realise that beyond all the negative parts, the bits of a relationship that can hurt you when you have fights and when someone accidentally upsets you or says the wrong thing, or they crack a joke about something that you're really sensitive about and get upset over. When all of that happens, you realise beyond the bits of prickliness that are in the relationship, it's well worth the effort and well worth the commitment. That it's really going to be good for you, and that in fact there's even more in this person and in this relationship than you ever thought was possible. This is a relationship and a love affair where the love will deepen more and more every year. I think there's an initial attraction in that I suspect you're probably 2 different types of people, and that's the success of the relationship, that you have strengths that they don't, and they have strengths where you have weaknesses. And I think that letting them in slowly and incrementally allows you to be comfortable and familiar with them, and it just reassures you that, you know, the love will bond and grow and grow and grow. It really will. This is a love affair where, you know, you think they're great at the beginning. This is why you want to marry them, why you think it's all worth it. You know, you can't turn away from them. But then they, by the time that you're going to marry them, you're just like, this is brilliant. This is better than I ever could have thought. I never thought marriage could be this wonderful. I never thought being with someone could be this wonderful. And I think you will get this 10 of Cups. I think you will get the happy family because you want it and you work for it and you're willing to be vulnerable for it. This is it. I think this person might make you feel vulnerable, and every time there's a little bit of more closeness, there is that vulnerability, and they don't exploit it. That's why you let them come further and further in. I really feel they're the Queen of Cups and you're the Knight of Wands, and it doesn't matter whether you know you're a she and it will be a he. It's the energies behind the cards, or she, he. It doesn't matter. Sex doesn't matter, it's the energy behind the cards. So, yeah. It's just going to be lovely. This is a really secure relationship that's slowly built upon, slowly developed, slowly built upon, and yeah, it'll be good. So that's your reading number 3s, Clovers. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment and subscribe. In fact, just comment just so that and let me know how you've enjoyed the reading, the different style of reading and the different camera angle and how it's panned out for you. And I wish you all the best of luck. Please take very good care of yourself, and goodbye.